Hey guys, Salvi here, just reminding you to, of course, like, subscribe, and follow, and all that kind of good stuff that YouTube asks if you enjoy what video I'm going to put out for you today. Thank you. Ironmouse, it's a very short section here with Ironmouse of something that she has put out. Ironmouse's thing has gotten over 700,000, and I think at this point it is at over 900,000, so they're going to double the amount that they would have given to the Immune Deficiency Foundation back when, you know, the money that was stolen from the Immune Deficiency Foundation by VShojo. And of course, Ironmouse used to be a part of VShojo. The whole background of that, if you guys don't know about it, is that VShojo was handling the money for her subathon. There's about $500,000 earmarked for the Immune Deficiency Foundation. The VShojo was supposed to send that to them. It was earmarked for that. Everything was supposed to work for that. Nothing got sent, and she only found out about that recently. She's owed a ton of money too. But right now, what I want to show you is the nice positive that's out here with Ironmouse getting that money through. Getting over 700,000, over 900,000 at this point, from what I know. Almost to 1 million, easily going to get to 1 million by the weekend. It's going to get over 1 million. However long she wants to keep this up, it's going to be a lot of money. So that's always good to see, and that's what I want to show you guys. Another little short update in regards to Ironmouse. I'm going to keep this one short and sweet because, of course, you guys have gotten a lot of information, and there's going to be a lot of information in, you know, any videos and things that I put out. So we're going to do short and sweet for this one. She also has put out, I mean, you know, you all know that Ironmouse, along with other people like Doki Bird and others, they are 100% about paying the artist. They're 100% about making sure that everybody gets paid on time, every time, and not get screwed over by an agency, in this case by VShojo. So she's saying any artists, musicians that worked with me through VShojo and never got paid, please contact me ASAP so I can get you paid. I'm so sorry. Please message at Roxy in order to get everything sorted out. You can get paid ASAP. That's probably her personal assistant, personal manager, whatever it ends up being. Kesan Virus Fan says artist too. It's a parody account, a fan account. Salem, everybody, Rainy, Dragon Spit, of course, Cupie. It's not her fault. She should not be having to foot the bill, but she's like, you know what? It doesn't matter. I want you guys to get paid. I want this to happen. It could also be, be possible that she's also working on getting a lawsuit going, and in that way, she wants to get that handled. You know what I mean? So it could be something like that legally behind the scenes. So we'll see how that happens, and I will, of course, update you when that happens. VShojo, the company that everyone had a lot of trust in, the company that everyone believed in, it's a company that everyone, including all of these people here, thought was going to be an amazing place to be, thought was going to be an amazing place to live, to be in, to all that kind of stuff, has destroyed any chances of them continuing on. And to show you guys that, here is all of their talents. They don't have Ironmouse here, interestingly enough. Her page was basically unavailable. If you go basically, like, let's take a look at Amelie. You switch out Amelie for Ironmouse, and it's not available. Page not found. But the main thing that I wanted to put out here is the store is currently unavailable. So that means they are no longer selling any merch themselves. You can probably get like merch from the vendors, the side vendors, Etsy people, etc., but no official VShojo merch is going to be sold anymore. And hopefully, we can only hope in the best of times that they will somehow, some way, hopefully, be able to send out the stuff that they need to, the stuff that was promised, anniversary merch, that type of stuff. Hopefully, send it out to the people who bought it. The Immune Deficiency Foundation, it goes by the letters I, D, and F. They thanked Ironmouse and the community for giving so much. So let's hear what they have to say.
Hello, I'm Jory Berry, and I lead the Immune Deficiency Foundation. Sometimes it's hard to find the right words to say, but I'll try. I wasn't expecting Ironmouse to create the Tiltify fundraiser to benefit us, but it shouldn't have surprised me, because that's who she is. Even in the midst of challenges, she thought of us before herself.
Yep, that's
and
Mousy
what
right
has
there.
been raised in less than 48 hours is surreal, overwhelming in the best possible way. But honestly, I've known how special Mouse is for a long time. What I didn't know is that an entire community would rally around the Immune Deficiency Foundation in a way I couldn't have imagined. I sent Mouse a message yesterday. I told her that her authenticity and vulnerability inspire me.
They do inspire. Yes, they do.
But so do you. You've inspired me in ways you may not even realize. Gratitude doesn't begin to describe it. So whether you were able to donate or not, you made a difference. More people know about the Immune Deficiency Foundation. More people know about primary immunodeficiency. More people know about the need for plasma donation. Vulnerably, authentically, and very much sincerely. Thank you.
So yeah, they thanked everybody, and of course I thank you guys, because on the day we found out about this, on the first day of the situation, we were able to raise as a community over $100, and we're able to give that $100 to them, and that was absolutely amazing as well. And of course, VGen went close to $1 million, added another boost, so they did another $10,000. They put like another $5,000 match in progress. So they got $10,000 overall. This is amazing to see. And also thank you guys for giving when you did. I had mentioned before other members of, the artists, etc., that were working with VShojo that were not paid. I had mentioned other individuals like Shiro Beats, Starlight Daryl. They all were not paid. Some of them are paid now, but there were thousands of dollars of unpaid work from them too. Had to chase people down just to make sure that they would get paid. Then you have Sleeping Forest has got to jump in and say the same goes for me as well. There's multiple unreleased works I never received payment for, by the way. And that is basically the S behavior that they did. They had people running like freaking debt collectors, running around trying to get their money. And it shouldn't be that way. It should never be that way. AM Candlery, a candle maker slash, different scent makers here, is doing a project with Ironmouse as of 2 hours ago. They did mention that they are doing a project with Ironmouse, limited edition candle from her, and scents as well. In honor of Ironmouse and the IDF, Exam and Exodam Artworks and I have teamed up to bring you a limited edition strawberry milk tea candle. And they say here, of course, 20% of the proceeds will go to Come Together via Midnight Candlery will be donated to the IDF. 8-ounce candle, wax melt bar, car diffuser, 8-ounce foaming hand soap, 4-ounce broom spray. And here we go with AM Candlery. This is $10 for the main things here. You can set the Come Together pack. It's actually very affordable. I think each one is each one of those things are $10, $20, etc. You can get them all in that. Any of those sales are, of course, going to be going to the IDF. 20% and all that kind of stuff. Because, of course, they have to pay. You have to make sure that they pay for candles and everything like that they've done. So whatever they can, they are going to be giving to the IDF, which is amazing. The Genius has given the big update that everyone was waiting for. If you remember, she did say I'll be streaming yesterday. She said she'll be streaming today as of, well, by today. She, of course, meant, and yesterday she meant the 21st. She said she's going to be streaming on the 22nd, and she did end up streaming on the 22nd. And here is what she said. At least she put out an actual video on it, which she puts here. She talked about her situation, and she says, thank you guys so much a lot. I can't thank you guys enough. From now on, I will be Henya the Genius Independent VTuber Dayo. And this is what she's saying here. Let's take a listen.
Thank you so much for coming today. My name is Henya the Genius, and thank you so much for coming. Oh, sorry, I am really nervous right now, and sorry, I'm just so nervous right now. That I'm leaving VShojo, and unfortunately, VShojo owes me a significant amount of unpaid debt that I haven't been paying in a long time. This situation has been...
This is like the 5th person. Every single VTuber who has left VShojo has said they are owed a significant amount of money. Not a small bit, a significant. Tens of thousands, maybe even for the top earners, hundreds of thousands of dollars owed to them, never paid to them.
Truly heartbreaking. I truly trusted the company, and this has been deeply upsetting to me. A few years ago, I was in a situation where I thought about quitting VTubing, giving up all of my dream. quit everything. But then, after I joined VShojo, I thought everything will be alright. And then I felt like I could tell you guys that, hey guys, thank you for always having my back.
My God.
But it's gonna be okay. Now it's gonna be alright. That's how I really felt when I joined. So I am just so sad right now that...
You can tell she's sad, holding back tears.
And I am so sorry that I need to make an announcement like this and make you guys worry. I am really, really sorry. However, I'm not going anywhere. This is not the end. I will continue my activities as an independent VTuber. I'm not going anywhere. I'll still be your little kiddo. And yeah, so this is not the end.
And that is what I wanted to get you to. It does suck. Again, this is not the first, second, third, fourth, or fifth time we've heard this. Every single VTuber who was a part of VShojo, now including Henya, says that she was owed a significant amount of money. And this is after even VShojo stole money from the charity, the Immune Deficiency Foundation, and used it for operating funds. This is embezzlement on their case, fraud, and this is not going to go well for them. I don't even know. And the problem is, I don't think any of them are going to be able to get their money back, because if VShojo has $0, then they can't get money. They can try liquidating assets, but who knows what's going to happen there. I really feel bad for Henya. So luckily, Henya has a manager. This is one thing that I wanted to double check and make sure with the whole thing. Kind of like a little postscript here. She's still my manager. I'm so happy about it. So please contact Henya MNG for work inquiry. Thank you so much. My guess is everyone, including by saying this. I believe also Ironmouse mentioned that her manager still stays. VShojo's liquidating everything. All of their talents are gone. All of their employees seem to be taking the same route. It's just they all seem to be leaving in one way, shape, or form. So this, of course, shows that things are not going well. Henya MG, which is this person here, is their manager, Henya the Genius's manager. So luckily, the managers that she got through VShojo are still able to be with her. Also, just to clarify, Twitch revenue all goes to Henya. Me. So please don't worry, Dayo. And again, thank you guys so much for a lot, Dayo. I love my community, Dayo. And of course, people are giving her lots of love, lots of support, which she deserves. To give a little bit more of context to what we saw with Henya, it's the girl's gone through too much. Remember that she had mentioned of, that she had not been paid in a significant amount of time, but the merch also, the anniversary merch that people bought, still had not been dispatched to fans. It could be possible that it was never even created, unfortunately. Could be that it was never even out there. It was never even, put out in any way, shape, or form. It could be that, they pocketed all the money. Anger I never felt before watching the short stream. At least he'll be continuing as an indie, which he will, luckily. Any talent left on Henya's made departure? No one's left. No one right now is left. So that is the main thing. That is the main thing here that I wanted to get to you guys. That everybody's gone. It says VShojo, for one reason or another, has been losing money for a while. Maybe it was because more recent issues. Maybe it was just unstable. Maybe it was just negligence. I think it was negligence, maybe pocketing money. Money was embezzled. This is the case. Gunrun and others are, of course, financially responsible. And this is, of course, something that is very important to see. Employance and expenses, most likely they operated as a Ponzi scheme, pretty much. That's pretty much what they did. Isn't wholly unusual. A business will often hold on to cash during bad seasons to wait out for good turns. They just used up all the cash. They didn't have as much cash as people thought they did. That is the big issue here. And that is the reason why I'm making all these videos, because I do want to make sure that VShojo is never forgotten as a bad company. Melody is a member, one of the founding members, one of the people who got VShojo started, and she was promised the world and she was given nothing in return. She put a lot of work, as well as a lot of the other girls in there, but let's just get to what she wanted to say today, which was she's going to be taking a little break. I think it'd be healthy for me, of course. I've learned plus experienced so many things. Instead of airing my own grievances, I'd rather curl up in a ball for 1 or 2 weeks. I'll be back, hornier and ready for a new chapter in life, because of course she does have her science team, we'll call it. I love you all so much. Thank you for your kind words. Also, during my absence, the mods will not be fed. Thank you. We love you, Mel, Wild Spice, Adonis, Take all the time you need. People are like, rest well, Mel. Honestly, so much has happened and the break is valid. I think a lot of people will need time to process and regroup. Take all the time you need. People are, of course, wanting to give her as much space, as much time, as much as they possibly can for her to relax. She needs it. She deserves it. And I do wish her to take any time that she needs. Everyone will be waiting for her. No one's going to leave. No one's going to be like, oh my God, she's gone for this. Nothing like that's going to happen. Maid Mint, or Mint Fantome, is of course a VTuber who has done a lot in the community. She used to be, someone else in another agency, but right now she's been Mint Fantome for a very long time. Maid Mint, and she did last year in 2024, she did a whole summer series with Matara of, doing podcasts, doing, basically talking together, doing things like that. They actually went to, I think they did a live one as well at one point, like actually out in like a convention. They did all that kind of fun stuff. So they had that kind of talk show type thing going on, and they had lots of fun. Now we're going to talk about what is going on here. Sorry to add to the discourse, but I'd really appreciate it if you would listen. And then of course, here we go. Let's talk about it. She has a little bit of background of what she's doing, what's going on, what happened, and let's see what she says.
Sorry. Was feeling how I was really wanting to join a group or a company. And how VShojo would be good, but it wasn't exactly goal oriented towards the things I wanted to do. And on that trip, we had the idea, or we came up with the idea where potentially I could pitch an idol group Gen to VShojo. Oh my gosh, it's so weird saying this out loud.
Now that's what she wanted to do. She wanted to do idol work. She wanted to do that kind of singing. She wanted to do that kind of stuff, of course, as VTubing as well. But this going over the background. The background is great. This is how she got into, with VShojo. Matara helped her out a lot. And, getting into pitching ideas to VShojo.
Out to you guys right now. They auditioned for 2 other members that were going to be a part of the idol group that we would form. And
so she was going to be a part of idol group in VShojo.
I believe some other people were coming out about their experiences, like Barry and Pia. They were not a part of what I was working on. They were supposed to.
So this was separate from the other ones that we've mentioned before that have gone through. That has been mentioned before. Barry, PiapiUFO, other people that have been involved in it.
Be debuted after us, VShojo, and things were, albeit a bit slow. Things were not bad. And
she's getting emotional.
Sorry. I just was really happy that I was working towards a common goal with 2 other people that I was really excited to be with. And the staff were really good to us, I do want to say. And
of course, upper levels are different.
There were a lot of opportunities that were lining up, and some that probably will never come to fruition, but that's okay.
That's painful to see, man.
And sorry. And so we actually were initially supposed to debut a while ago, but things kept getting pushed back.
And that is something that we hear a lot of with other people in it, and it really, really does suck.
With my merch drop that I did after Moso Box with like the mugs and stuff, I also did not see that money, but I was so confident about my group working out that but also not get in legal trouble. But VShojo also helped with my merch drop that I did. Said it'll be okay, it'll work.
I want to make sure that there wasn't any merch drop. So basically, what's happening here, merch drops happened. She didn't see any money of it. She still hasn't seen any money of it. And she was given the promise that, you know, things were going to continue. The group was going to continue, and it never did form.
Out. And, sorry. So, I do want to say, though, that, please, you know, obviously support all the talents. Everybody's kind of going through it. I'm sorry. I am, you know, I wasn't an outward-facing talent, but I guess I was a talent for over a year now. I guess.
Over a year that nothing happened. That sucks. Let's continue on with seeing what else she says.
Basically everything has. There was a lot of stuff that was being planned, and I'm really sorry that I don't have really anything for you guys anymore at the moment. But I can say my 3D 3D debut concert should still happen.
So she continues on saying, you know, like, this is basically her saying everything's going to continue being the way it is. She did get shafted by VShojo in the sense that they didn't give her the money that she deserved. The idol group that she was going to be creating inside of VShojo that was going to be, you know, pushed through there never materialized. She was basically put in limbo for a year. Nothing happened. Nothing materialized. And she's left here heartbroken. She's left here saddened by a chance that she thought was going to be amazing that never happened. And anytime, any bit of merch drops, any bit of things like that that she has done with them, including the Matara thing, she was not paid for.
Bring up, and so yeah, I just kind of wanted to you know, I didn't want to drag this out, and I'm sorry also for bringing this up as well when there's you know, it's really unfortunate that nobody knew how bad it was.
So yeah, she just continues on that end. I just want to make sure that there wasn't anything that I was missing. But yeah, everything that has to do with VShojo that she might have gotten payment for, she has not gotten any payment for. So she's another one of the victims of another bit that VShojo owes her as well. It is very unfortunate. I do hope that eventually there is some kind of class action or something like that for all the situations that's going on here, because they really, really screwed over some amazing people. My heart goes out to Mint. I know she has an amazing community. I know she will rise above this, but being vulnerable like this in front of her community is something that I do respect her for. And of course, postscript Salvi over here. She said, that was scary. Sorry if I didn't get everything across well, but thank you for listening. I don't really want to bring this up again. So back to your release schedule programming. I should have written notes because I forgot to say some stuff. I wanted to apologize to the other members that came in due to my idea. I know I'm not responsible and didn't know anything that was going on, but I feel terrible for involving them. It's been a lot watching everything I've been working on for the past year get wiped out in a second. But obviously it's more important that the wrongdoings are brought to light. I quite honestly feel really lost right now and don't have a lot of motivation, but I'll bounce back eventually and I'll keep being your goofy ghost maid. And of course, that is the last we hear from Mint about the situation. Of course, do not bring it up in any streams, but I'm glad that she is trying to move forward. And of course, she doesn't have to apologize for anything. We have found out some more new information here in regards to what's going on with VShojo. We have an unfortunate situation, but just remembered Kat was offered $2 million to buy the whole thing, but obviously the operation was so unprofitable, Kat said no. So in this case, what ended up happening is VShojo was like, we'll let you buy us out, from my understanding, for $2 million. You know, just give us that money and then VShojo is yours, type of thing. I don't know how it ended this badly, but going through the financials, to be honest, looked like a team that never ran a business before. And here's where we start having stuff here. Here is the big information right there. It is saying, here's some older decks that may help. Right now, we're looking at someone acquiring us for just the amount that we owe to the talents and loans. So at this point in time, 6/21/2025, actually a little bit over a month ago, they were trying to get acquired for $2 million. Because at this point, they owe the talents at least $2 million from what they already know. It's about $2 million for everything at this point. So they're saying right now, at least we know through this number here, they owe the talents at least $2 million. And it says 2021 deck has a bit more comp intel slides than the others. Old info 2021 though. And it says docs.google.com. And of course, they're not going to allow that because, you know, it has a lot of information. It may even have some personal information. So they redacted those types of things. January 2025 deck, latest, but from January info, original 2020 founding deck for a pre-seed. Because remember, they did get venture capital funding. They get seeded for venture capital funding as well. So that means that they got some money from other people. And it says here, with any artists, musicians that worked through VShojo never got paid. So now we know there's at least $2 million that hasn't gotten paid. We have here, Kat was always a supporter, donor of VTubers, and was interested in investing in them. Friend of mine was the largest investor in VShojo. RIP, zero money. Maybe the loan company took legal required, what the legal company took, they required some things to be paid back first before the 500k stream donation go through to Ironmouse. Not sure. Still believe it's just terribly ran business rather than fraud, or at least I hope. This person is a little too what would I call it? A little too bright-eyed and bushy-tailed. They believe a little too much in it. Knew some people that worked there, completely turned me off from ever pivoting to VTubing. Believe half the staff there were to exploit, half were just nerds trying to do something fun, passionate, terrible outcome. It wasn't exploit. The spending was just bad. My friend was their largest investor, so they didn't need to exploit. We lost $10 million. The person who invested in them, $10 million. So they had the money to blow on making VTubers go big and famous without ever earning money, even close to their expenses. That's how it went down. It's fascinating to see this. It's crazy to see this, but yes. $10 million were lost through the seed funding. And of course, because it was just spent, and it was spent on things other than paying their talents, it seems like. They did not know how to properly manage the money. I don't know why they didn't have an accountant, or an accountant that wasn't a friend, or an accountant that a professional CPA would have helped them out a ton. This is unfortunate news, but I'm glad that the person didn't lose $2 million, but we know it now that at least $2 million is what is owed. Is one of the founding members of VShojo, if I'm not mistaken. She has, of course, stayed quiet for the most part, but as you can see, she's no longer affiliated with VShojo, so she's out too. She said, recently my heart aches for the talent and the hard-working talent staff who work tooth and nail to let us be heard. And then you have here, which is her saying even further, because she was quiet for a long time, even further saying, I've still been struggling to mentally process everything, that when I think about it all, my mind goes blank. So that is, if anything, if you take anything about this, it's just everybody's hurting. Even Froot, you can have your complaints about Froot, you can have your complaints about, her not being here, all this other stuff. You can say what you want to say about her, but she's also a victim in all this. All of them are. And of course, a lot of people are very, very happy with what's been going on. Very happy that she is saying these things. Very happy that she is finally speaking out. And of course, letting her say these things and not criticizing is the best thing you can do. And of course, give her support during these trying times, because it's trying for everybody. Haruka Karibu was a member of VShojo. She joined separately. She was her own, independent VTuber before that. She joined with the girls, and she recently learned about everything. Says, I'm tired. We can be tired together. Zentreya, Buff Pup, Chloe Croc, everybody, sending them lots of love, lots of appreciation. She says, finally, I've left VShojo. This was on the 22nd. She left VShojo. I was in the works for a little bit. It was already in the works for a little bit. So this was not just because of that. A lot of people were already angry. So we know that Zentreya had left already. We know that Matara had left at some point too. We know all these different things here. And we know that now that she had been planning on this, it's just that now this was the straw that brought the camel's back, and she made sure it was immediate. Officially indie as of today. We processed everything. I'll express my feelings better. Please give me all the friends, my support, and love. That's what I wanted to show you guys for this. She's been through a lot. Everyone's been through a lot. And apparently a lot of people had already one foot out the door. They just were waiting for things to get finished, but this made it so much easier for them. And I'm glad at least they're out. Matara-kan is a VTuber. She's a Roach mom who was, of course, Nina Kosaka of Nijisanji. She left from one bad company and went into another. Unfortunately, she was promised the world and not given anything. Let's go on to see what she has to say about what's going on right now.
I'm not gonna lie, I am very excited. I think 2025 has been both an incredible year in the sense that a lot of amazing things have happened, and I know that I kind of needed this year in general, but I'm good not to have another one of these for a little bit. And a lot of stuff that happened again. One day, I don't want to be cryptic, but obviously one day in the future, I think more of us are going to be able to talk about a lot of the stuff from this year, et cetera, et cetera. I think I had a really important, I think I had a lot of important life lessons, but we'll definitely talk about them. We'll definitely talk about them more in the future, my loves, and all that fun stuff. But yeah, I definitely feel like I want to focus on me. I want to focus on stuff that I want to do. I did a lot of stuff solo before, even though I had been in a few groups and stuff. But, you know, with Hollywood, I obviously focused a lot on Hollywood group stuff because, you know, you're in a group and you wanna help, you wanna get stuff going.
Help.
And then with my last employment, same thing. You wanna focus on the group, you wanna get stuff going.
Yeah, you do.
And I think this year kind of showed me like, hey, a lot of folks in this industry or in other industries put them and their business first. And
unfortunately, a lot of people do that.
If I put me and my business first, right? So a lot of the stuff that is happening from those kind of lessons is the things that I'm opening this year. And as I said, I promise you, I'm not going to be cryptic forever, but I had a really important reminder of, hey, a lot of people will put their business first. You should be doing the same. Yeah,
Absolutely.
Kyle, I'm the kind of person where I really enjoy helping others. Helping others helps me, but I'm kind of in this position where I feel like I spend a lot of years helping other people. And I'm kind of here like, well, you know, what do I got to show for it?
I can understand
Sure,
that. I understand your thoughts on
Matara is so great. She helped me with this. Matara is so nice. That, like, yeah, okay, but I think there's a lot more stuff that I'm like, no, I'm going to be more selfish. My parents are getting
She should
older.
be.
I want them to not work and, you know, travel the world before they're too old to do so. And personally, this is something, again, I'm sorry for being cryptic, but I've had this lesson all my life. And you gotta let people make their own mistakes.
Yeah.
I'm the kind of person where I'm like, wait, you're doing this thing wrong. Let me help you. Don't do this. You're gonna get hurt. And just every time my flesh mother will remind me, like, Matara, you gotta let people make their own mistakes. And I'm sure some of you can relate here, right? Where it's like, if you tell people, hey, don't do this, or hey, be careful here, be careful that, you're the bad guy. But then if people kind of make the mistake and fall and hurt themselves, then later they come to you and they're like, oh, I get it now. And you're like, oh. But that's been really tough for me, is just learning to see people that I love get hurt and know that if I try to help them avoid the pain, that then they won't. Does that make sense? That's another problem that I've had a lot of people told me as well that I need to be more mindful of. I need to be a little bit nicer with my I told you so's. I think because, like, I'm a little bit of a joker and I'm very silly. Sometimes when I hit people with the I told you so, you know, it should be like, hey, I'm so sorry. I'm not happy to be doing this.
Yeah.
You know?
But
And
it's
then
hard.
later
It's
be
hard.
like, you know,
It's hard.
I did tell you so. But instead, I've definitely a few times been in a position of like, told you so. I told you so. I told you so. Something that my therapist and I talked about was sometimes people like me who really are like, I'm trying to help. I'm trying to be, you know, quote unquote, a good person and quote unquote do what I think is the right thing. It also comes from like not focusing on my own life enough. If I focused on my life more, if I was busier, if I was doing stuff, I wouldn't be out here, you know, making sure you're doing stuff okay. So sometimes it comes from like extreme people pleasing as well. You know, it's not bad that I'm trying to help. It's good, but I gotta help myself. That's my number one.
True. That's true. You definitely do have to help yourself.
Yeah.
And yeah, I mean, that's the main thing that everyone should be focusing on now. All the girls, they should be focusing on helping themselves first and not going and pleasing other people. And that's hard because I'm a people pleaser too. I definitely understand that. That's definitely a hard thing to do. That is something that I've had to learn myself. I'm glad that Matara is in such a better position, in such a much better position, although she's probably owed several $1,000s as well by VShojo. But I'm very, very glad that she has this new position where she can do all these wonderful things. She has projects planned, things like that happening for her. Very happy for her. Nyanners was a member of VShojo a while back. Over a year ago, they had left because of differences with the company, because of, now we know, you know, non-payment, other things like that. It was really bad. Like, it was so very bad that she is actually talking about it right now. Let me give you a little bit of the short and skinny of it before we actually go and talk about everything. Let's see what they said here. It says, the main VShojo mentions were for Nyanners. She is owed enough money to buy a brand new Mercedes-Benz S-Class. Shortly after signing on, she was swatted during a sponsored stream. Baking during Cookie Run Kingdom, she finds this humorous looking back, and per police advice, she continued to stream and played it off like nothing had happened, so as to not let the other person responsible know that they'd been successful. Her attitude was, I'm traumatized, but at least I'll be paid. She was never paid for that. So she was never paid for that at all. Preely asked for her money, only to be told they didn't have her banking information despite having only recently deposited money. So they already deposited money several times. And now she was told, oh, we don't have your banking information. What kind of BS is this? What kind of backwards ass thing is this? She, Silver, and Vey were slandered, discredited by staff to the talents upon leaving, painted as B, ungrateful, greedy, troublemakers. It's basically sounds like the eliminated talents were basically, she was poisoned the well, as you can say, poisoning the well. Talents would be manipulated on the purpose of turning them against each other. So they were actually made to turn against each other in VShojo, which is like recently, like really crazy. Mercedes-Benz S-Class basically is like $70,000, $80,000. It's like sub 100K to around 100K. So that's around the money that she's owed for this. And swatting, for people who don't know, swatting is the purpose of people sending police over to your location with the they'll make a call saying, you know, I'm gonna hurt somebody, I'm gonna do this, I'm gonna do that, and then the police sent the SWAT team over. That's what this is all about. And then basically, like, manipulation. You have manipulation of making everyone work against each other. It basically made it a better decision for them to have left, which is, you know, makes sense. She was portrayed as B, manipulative, betrayer, leaving VShojo after having done a VShojo staff karaoke stream. Yes, for real. I guess they thought this bonded them together for life. You had, prior to leaving, she was told people would be harassed if she left, and that the company and other talents were depending on her. The same thing that you would hear, that you heard from Mouse, that they were gaslit, they were made to feel like they were, the company depended on them. Why are they betraying the company? Why are they doing all these things bad to the company? That kind of stuff. She made more money in her first few months post VShojo than she did during her entire time with VShojo. Anything is more than nothing. Basically, yeah, she was made nothing. They purposely announced Silver and Vey's departure at the same time so as to avoid looking like people were abandoning ship. So, Vey also threatened with legal action if she told anyone she was leaving VShojo. So they were trying to make things not look as bad as they ended up looking. VShojo strongly discouraged talents from seeking legal representation during contract negotiations. And this is where things are kind of weird. For her, she was told not to look for lawyers. For new people, including Michi and others, they were told to look for lawyers. Either that or someone is, you know, getting things mixed up. They deeply resented Nyanners in this case, for getting a lawyer to look over a contract upon leaving and badmouthed her to the remaining talents as is. So basically they were told to not look for lawyers when they were leaving the company. That's BS. You're always contract either going or leaving or coming in. Always get a lawyer to look over your contract, especially if you're a contractor for a company like this. The lawyer VShojo provided talents with had an expired license and might not even been a real lawyer. Allegedly a lawyer. Another bad thing. The lawyer now hired spent most of her time gasping and sighing while reading her contract. Kind of the same thing that Shylily had said before. Like the lawyer seemed very uninterested and very, like, you know, blasé and whatever about the whole thing. She and Ethel, he was accused of convincing her to leave, received a great deal of hate after the departure. I do remember that. They did receive a lot of hate. It broke her mentally. The stress was caused and amplified by not being able to speak out and shut down false information due to a combination of NDA, not wanting to draw more attention to it, and not wanting to cause trouble for the remaining talents. Basically, let 2 years worth of anger and frustration after listening to what she revealed. All I can say is the why this is happening is horrible, but the fact that it's happening is wonderful. So yeah, let's take a look at what she says here, specifically.
So that was like one of the like glimmers of hope. I was like, you know what? I went through all that, but at least I'll get paid.
That was about the swatting incident, by the way.
Wouldn't you know it? like one of the many things that they have failed to pay me for over the course of literal years was that stream, the one that I got swatted during. It just like it felt like a kick. So I could.
And that's what sucks. Like, she not only got swatted, but then she did get paid for the swat. So I mean, you were like, at least I did a sponsor stream. At least I'm gonna get paid. This is something we're hearing again and again and again. Every single talent that's left has said the exact same thing. Every single talent that's left has said that they have been owed a ton of money. This sucks. This absolutely sucks. And I do hope they get their money at some point. VShojo Nova is the generation that happened in JP. And it is, of course, Hotaru, Hestia Happiness, Yutori Peke, and Okamoto Nagi. We're going to be talking about them today because they have actually spoken. As you know, yesterday, pretty much, well, but what I mean by yesterday is like the 22nd, 21st, around there, everything kind of started blowing up. Every affiliate was removed from VShojo's affiliate page, including the Nova girls. So that's when you kind of knew they're closing shop. But right here you have Yotore Peke first, who's saying, to all of you who have always supported me, I'm truly sorry for causing you worry. This time, Yuzu Tori Peke will be parting ways with VShojo. This was something I was informed of very suddenly, and I'm truly filled with regret as well. I think they were ended, because in some cases, just it might be a bad translation, but it does seem like they didn't know 100%. Since my debut, I've been working towards the desire to share beautiful moments with my fans and bring them happiness. Even though the environment is changing, that belief will absolutely never waver. Unfortunately, I'm currently on vacation and don't have access to streaming setup right now, but I'll share my feelings in my own words during my next stream. As for the activities of the 4 Nova members, we're currently exploring options with JP staff, so I'd be grateful if you could warmly support us. What most likely they can do, I mean, a lot of other companies have done this, a lot of other groups have done this, if the company's either gone bankrupt or they've just gone defunct or whatever, they decide to go on as a group independently as a VTuber group. So I'd be grateful if you could warmly support us. Love Nova members, my wonderful seniors, and my fans with all my heart. Once again, I'm sorry for making you feel sad this time. And to those who offer me warm words, I'll keep enjoying my activities and repay your kindness one day to the fullest. And then we're going to continue on, of course, with Hotaru. I sincerely apologize for the concern I've caused everyone. As of today, they're going to be parting ways with VShojo. Truly heartbreaking for me that things have come to this. Although my time here was short, the fact that I was able to meet such trustworthy teammates, supportive staff, inspiring and dependable seniors, and all of you who have shown me your support. This is something that I will always treasure. As for continuing activities with the 4 members of Nova, we are currently exploring possible paths together with the JP staff. I will be grateful if you could kindly watch over us during this time. I'll be speaking more about this matter on my personal stream today. If you're able to, I would truly appreciate it if you could tune in. And of course, Zentreya sending love, Matara sending love, Mythos, a lot of people sending them lots of love. Same thing for Peke. You see, no apologies. I'm sorry this happened, Peke, lots of love. Chion Miji, Matara Khan, other people giving them lots of love and appreciation. Now, continuing on with Hestia Happiness, we do know, she did mention before that she was leaving. To everyone who supported me, celebrated this new chapter, I'm truly sorry how things turned out, unaware of what happened between my senpais and the company, and it deserves so much better. Before I joined, VShojo was always a company I deeply admired, and that's the thing you're going to hear a lot about. Because they did have the supposed talent first approach, but it was talent give me money, and then we'll think about it. That's what it ended up being. Chance to grow as a creator, I love my content, follow the road senpais give back to everyone who has supported me on this journey. Although time was short, she goes on to appreciate meeting everybody in Nova, the people in, the actual talent managers, all those type of people there. A lot of people were inspiring, hardworking, kind. She thanks the JP staff as well. As for Nova's future, because the JP staff, I treat the JP staff as something separate. They didn't know about 99% of what was happening. Even the quote-unquote JP CEO, which is more like a executive manager of JP branch, had no clue that these things were happening. He was not clued in to 90% of what was going on. Just maybe that they were having some troubles, and that was it. But he's not, the EN branch, the main VShojo branch, is the one handling all of that. He just handles the JP side. And then, ask for money and all that kind of stuff when it's necessary. Basically, they don't know, like I said before, they don't know exactly what's happening. They're going to be discussing what's going to happen with Nova, if they can use the Nova name, that type of thing. And of course, she will be streaming at her own words eventually as well. And over here, you have Nagi, which is the last one, which shares the same sentiment. Thank you, everyone, for their support. And she's announcing that she is leaving. About a half a year ago when everything started, she really wanted to, she bright-eyed, bushy-tailed, wanted things to go well. Unfortunately, they didn't. She will be sharing her perspective on live stream, but we're going to be covering this here, of course, in order to get this out to you guys as soon as possible so you guys can get all the information. But this does suck, and more people, so many people were mistreated in this company, and so many people were defrauded in this company. It really does suck. Recently, as the collapse has happened, we have found out that there are many members who are going to be part of different sections of VShojo. From what it looks like, Beribug, PiapiUFO, and Tori were going to be part of a single generation of VTubers. And from what I'm getting, because knowing Pheobe likes to sing, Pheobe is more of a V singer. Pheobe seems to have been more of a going towards the singing section. So my assumption, just based on what I have here, the information that I was able to gather, is that Pheobe, or Phoebe-chan, was someone who was going to be part of the possible Mint Phantom generation. As you know, by now you may have seen my videos, that Maid Mint did lose the opportunity to be part of an idol group within the agency. We do have Pheobe, who is a singer-songwriter, which makes me think that that's why she was part of that group, that she was going to be singing and that kind of stuff with Maid Mint in the same thing. She goes through and says her experience with VShojo. I needed extra time to gather my thoughts before I say anything, but I was one of the undebuted VShojo talents who passed the audition last year. Please be gentle towards those affected. I'm sorry, alt text is truncated a bit, so here is the full-on truncated text. She was one of the undebuted VTuber talents who passed the audition last year. Have already debuted with them, but by now, if all had gone originally planned, was looking forward to everything I was planning to do with the community. And, she got screwed. She said, I've been busy all year, dedicating my time and energy to debut prep. A lot of passion went into it, not only for myself, but from wonderful staff. Shout out to Panini, you're everything. I was so excited to join a company with so many talents who I admire, and a company that was supposedly truly talent first. A company that open-minded. I was so excited to finally have support and belief in my vision for delivering the excitement of idol culture to a much broader audience. And especially for the 2.5D idol content I've been trying to shape since my VTuber debut in July 2020. I was so excited to find a place to belong after all Prism Project had suddenly shut down last year, and this would be the third agency I'd have been a part of. I was hoping I would be the last. I was hoping it wouldn't have to keep searching for another home. And basically, she continues on with her thoughts. Says, but there are a lot of moments where something didn't feel quite right or I feel overlooked, but we did our best. And I did my best. Our talents did their best, and Panini did her best. As the situation became less clear, as things get majorly delayed, forgotten, big promises, all these things. It's like additionally I was required to put my Amami VTuber on hiatus in preparation for debuting soon after, only to learn that I had to wait a few more months, and there are a few more months again. Naturally, this was a big strain on my finances, which is compounded further when I found out that I have to self-fund an anniversary album that they had promised to cover for me, since the debut was no longer going to be before my 5th year anniversary. Despite all this, I kept believing in the dream. I held on to the promises, thinking it's okay, things will get better if I just work harder and push through it, and shining moment when I can join everyone out there. Sadly, that moment isn't coming anymore. At least not here, not a company that kept so many secrets. No one internally knew or knows exactly what's going on. It's really sad. She said she didn't want to focus so much on the negative. There's been enough out there the past couple of days that just in general, what I want to say is thank you to all the former, current, and staff, and of course, members of VShojo. Thank you for the wonderful staff that I had the pleasure of meeting and working with, who were legitimately kind and hardworking people. So yeah, she thanks all the fans. She thanks everyone that did everything. And she wants everyone to know that heart, mind, and body are all exhausted, but she's going to keep fighting hard. She's going to keep moving forward. She's going to keep doing what she needs to do. She's going to keep going forward and being strong. I'm glad that every single one of these are strong. Every single one of these girls, every single one of the girls, guys, everything are strong. And of course, it says, you have been such a light and inspiration to me. I have been a 2.5D VTuber for the past few years and I felt very alone on that. You've always pushed me to keep following my dreams of performing and doing what I love. So sorry for the hurt you've been put through. Know that we are on your side, basically. We're also excited for what you're going to be doing next. And I'm excited for whatever is in the future for Pheobe. And I'm very sorry that she had to go through this. Andrew Steiner Hodgson, yes, is a member, a co-founder of 727 Pro, Idol and VTuber manager, Phoebe-chan Chibi, and other things like that. And I think they worked with Phoebe-chan, they worked with other people there. And they said the VShojo situation is by and large not my story to tell, but it's one of the reasons why I was so slammed to this last year. A lot of prep work went into it. Sad to say it ended this way, but I'd like to thank the staff and talents who are working so hard despite the difficulties. There's no doubt the bumps along the way, there were a lot of bumps along the way, were a massive cause of stress over the last half year especially, and there's still a handful of things that I feel indignant about. Even so, this isn't the end. I have full faith in the talents, and they were denied their chances. So this is basically, it's like I said, Phoebe-chan, like a person working with all of them, sending much love to you. A lot of people give them a lot of love and affection. They deserve it because it's just a lot of horrible things have been happening. And I do wish them the best in what they're doing moving forward. K9 Kuro Kurenai, whichever one he ends up being, this is his new look, was the only male member of VShojo. He was basically the only one that was allowed in there because, as we know, that there was poaching going on from Niji Sanji to VShojo. He, of course, has put out things here. Basically, things that he is talking about here.
Away from all my future.
Oh, he's actually singing stuff there, so that's that thing. He did end up talking about his future plans of the channel, merchandising, own experience, as much as I can say. Pretty important stream, so yeah, YouTube stream, as I don't want to upload video to kill two birds with one stone. He went on his stream, he talked about it merchandising, how things are way different now, that he's going to be solo, how now he's having direct contacts with the agencies, is actually going to be receiving monies, is actually going to be, he did change his email, things like that. He basically is saying leaving VShojo was the best decision he ever made. He dodged a bullet by not staying there. He dodged a bullet by, I think he went in with lawyers and made sure everything was done and said correctly. And he made sure that at the very least things were beneficial to him. So that was one of the big things that he dodged there. He, of course, was able to at least get a new design and everything like that, but as we know now, VShojo didn't really pay for many of that. It was usually out of the pockets of the talents. They just connected them with artists and things like that. So that sucks, but they are now able to work with Uo Market and other ones directly. A lot of those manufacturers do want to work with the talents now directly, and will be making contracts with them. Unfortunately, a lot of the merch wasn't sent out, or a lot of merch took forever to send out. A lot of bad experiences with VShojo overall, but he's happy to be himself now and away from VShojo. Pheobe is one of the members who left a while back in regards to VShojo. They left around the time Silvervale, Nyanners, and etc. were leaving. As we know, Nyanners was pretty much made to feel like they couldn't say anything, made to feel like they couldn't do anything, they couldn't, push anything, that kind of stuff. So they were all behind the scenes, made to feel really, really bad for leaving, made to feel like they're failing the company, that type of thing. We're going to go over here to this individual who has, of course, put out some things that Rima has put out. Phase based for thinking about a lawyer. Always have a lawyer, especially if the company discourages it. They should always want you to have sufficient legal counsel. It is your right. Even if it means you don't work out, all parties should be fully informed. It's worth it, honestly. I'm going to put something in there. It's worth it to pay $20, $200 for a lawyer. So here's the thing. Finished watching Nyanners stream about her time with VShojo. VShojo owed Nyanners the equivalent of Mercedes S-Class, about 117K. We went over this. Swatted. We went over all of this in the Nyanners section, so I'm not going to go too much. Nightmares about the swatting incident. Left deep scars. At least I'll be paid. She didn't get paid. Literally sent her payment 2 weeks prior to that, as I mentioned before. She made more than a few months after leaving. After leaving, many talents were told they were troublemakers. They were lied to. Vey was under an NDA that blocked her from talking to others, isolating her and preventing discussion. Looks like they did a lot of that. They did for Silvervale. Silvervale ended up having to be in another NDA, and her mom had to sign an NDA, which is the weirdest freaking thing there. Vey in chat ads, part of the company's terms for exit was announcing that her and Silvervale's departures at the same time to avoid panic. She says this was done to make it seem like they were leaving as friends, even though the decision was individual and they hadn't spoken about it. So they didn't want what happened recently, which was, Matara, Zentreya leaving at a different time, people leaving separately. They didn't want that because that was going to cause a lot of drama. With how long it took them to pay me back with my lawyer pestering them 24/7 about it, I bet they used other talent sponsor money for it, like getting a loan payment for a loan, like I said, robbing Peter to pay Paul. Vey adds again, they didn't pay for sponsors from 2021 to 2023, and VShojo fans pushed false narrative that they were being greedy or left because of boyfriends. Nyanners says her lawyer was audibly horrified during the contract call, sighing and saying some of this is ridiculous. On top of that, some corporals encourage or even ascertain false narratives to protect their image. Ironmouse Charity funds, who steals from charity, screw over the face of the company like that. It's comically evil. Mouse always wanted VShojo to succeed, which makes the betrayal even worse. Panini ex-staff gets good praise. A lot of ex-staff get good praise, honestly. Wanted to leave before her contract was up, but wasn't allowed to say anything. Sucks Paul, I trusted these people, we believed in them. She stayed because they believed in the mission. Vey was the first to say we need a lawyer and got a lot of hate for it. Nyanners says they both got unfairly smeared, and they did. The whole VTubing world hated them for a while because a false narrative was sent out there. She doesn't blame fans or talents for believing VShojo's image. She believed it too. Praises Aethel for always supporting her and never influencing her decision. Thought new wave with Henya might mean that they got their act together. On Kaysan, she tuned into her stream and said it was unreal. Called Kaysan a legend for confronting the JP CEO live. Ranted a bit about Idol, stream backpacks, and saying she never thought she would talk about this until the situation blew up. She thought that she would take it to the grave. Things like this narrative VShojo's sheep went with was our boyfriends made us, and we were greedy, and all that kind of stuff. And it says, how long took them to pay me back? My lawyer pressured 24/7 about it. I bet others other talents sponsor money. Part of their leave terms was announcing both me and Silver at the same time. They didn't want to cause panic. They wanted people to think we were leaving as friends, even though our decision was separate. And finally, they put me under an NDA that made me unable to talk to any of the girls about it. I thought Silver left first, but it's been a while. Not shady at all, of course. And that is, of course, Vey saying all these things. And it really does show how horrible this company really was. We have a little look-see at, a little bit of a meme look-see at what's going on here. Someone made a list of history doesn't repeat itself, but it often rhymes. So you have Aviel Basin of Idol Corp, who was a bad leader of Idol Corp. Gunrun VShojo, who was a bad leader of VShojo. Previous experience in content creation, yes. Started a VTuber agency, yes. Emphasized the favorable talent revenue split, yes. Money problems invented from paying talents to contractors towards the end, yes. Because Aviel, as you know, from Idol Corp, a lot of people complained about him not paying his bills on time. They had to go chase and chase and chase. And it was thanks to the talents and the managers, and the talent managers that they got paid. Both companies said the same thing. New generation of talent stuck in pre-debut limbo for months. Both of them the same thing. Managed to sell off the company before everything exploded. Aviel was able to make his money. He was able to make his money off of Idol Corp. He screwed over his people and he made money, which sucks. So I saw someone ask on Reddit, so I thought I'd share here too. Before I founded Idol, Aviel was a Hebrew language YouTuber. Unfortunately for us, he deleted all of his old content. Also, they both had merch problems, which as we know now, it sink a lot of money. Damn it, I knew I forgot something. Throw in a willingness to bury talents under the bus when necessary for both. Business is business. There's a reason why ancient China's 4 careers. Merchant is the last place to step up to some thieves. The only problem is that means that anything with that trade, including transportation, is seen as bad. So yeah, like there you go. This man cooks.
Holy fuck base!
There you go. And you have other people, of course, giving their opinions on the whole situation. We have Shylily, who, as we know, as she has recently mentioned, he had mentioned before, in your posts and things like that, she was contacted by VShojo to be a part of it. Now she has her own part to say about VShojo.
Short, Miles addressed some concerns often within VShojo and how VShojo is owing people large amounts of money, amongst those people being $500,000 that is owed to the Immune Deficiency Foundation. And also I made a tweet opening up about them recruiting me in 2023. Let me just talk real quick about this because I opened a can of worms. VShojo reached out to me in 2023, asking me if I want to join. It was the second half of the year of 2023. And before I say anything, I've already seen some like weird ass drama schizos try and, already drama the situation of like, so nice of you to let other people run into the fucking fucking fire. VShojo doesn't send out fucking newsletters of people who are about to join to the entirety that is the VTubing scene. I don't fucking know who's joining, brother.
That's
When
true,
a few
yeah.
other talents walked
I
out
can't-
a little while
I can't
after
imagine
they
people doing this
recruited
bad.
people, I was amongst one of those people I tried to recruit. We got to the contract negotiation phase, which is where everything fell apart because I strongly disagreed with the contract. It was very greedy, very exploitative of my assets. And before I say anything more, again, those non-medication having schizos on Twitter, just because I disagree with the contract doesn't mean I have to go around the fucking world and literally commit slander, which, by the way, defamation is literally fucking illegal. Just because
It is.
I don't like a contract and it's robbing me doesn't mean that A, other people are getting the same contract, and B, doesn't mean that other people disagree with it as much. They try
True.
to
Very
monetize
true.
my assets that I worked for. When I reached out, I was very, very, very particular about what I want and what I have to offer and my worth. And when I reached out, the person who reached out, they promised the fucking world. They had this big ass,
course they're
long
gonna
ass
promise the
meeting
freaking
and
world.
promised the world. And that was all beautiful. That was where everything. This is where everything is like, holy shit, this is insane. When VShojo opened their applications, way before that, I applied. It actually made it past the first wave. Never heard anything back ever. First of all, it was my long-lived dream to join Hololive, but they didn't want me, or rather, never looked at my application or anything. Yeah, this is before I debuted, by the way. This is a long time ago. When I saw that the VShojo girls had so much fun and they were such a tight-knit group and like collabs and hangouts and they looked like the most beautiful people on planet to me. So I
Everyone
applied.
thought
Didn't
that.
make it very far. Then far later, eventually at some point, they reached out at the almost peak of my career and they were trying to hire me. So they were giving me this whole presentation of what they can do for me, which was great and all, but then we came to a list of things that are very important to me. I can run down the list super quickly. I also noted some red flags that I noticed right away. My biggest contract was the revenue share. I did not like how their revenue splits with merchandise and similar things. They wanted too much revenue share, way too much. And the money they offered me in exchange for taking this much of my revenue was just not even, that was an insult. That was a genuine red flag because they kept calling 50-50 splits what was the word? Industry standard. Any corporate that hires you and always puts emphasis on industry standard, run. First of all, 50-50 is
Yeah.
not the industry standard.
No, it's
Third-party
not.
deals was also the biggest red flag. They wanted
50-50 for hololive is different. 50-50 for hololive is way different than 50-50 for them.
whole presentation of what they can do for me, which was, first of all, 50-50 is not the industry standard. It's me doing stuff. One thing that wasn't a red flag at first, I also told them, stay the fuck away from gamer subs. And at first they were like, sure, fair. But then they tried to be dodgy about it and they were like, for the time being, yes, until we renegotiate the contract. I was like,
What? What?
no renegotiation. And the excuse for this was, as part of VShojo and part of the brand name, part of the income and opportunities that come my way are due to VShojo in my name. And I said, no, all of these things are stuff I did myself. You don't touch it.
Yeah,
And
no,
by
you don't
far
take
biggest
credit
red
for that.
flag was I asked them to sign a non-compete between them and Mythic. They didn't want to sign that. I have proof of everything, by the way. And before anyone tries to pull some weird sneaky shit or VShojo tries some weird sneaky shit, I have proof of everything. They then tried to argue when I asked about the non-compete. They were like, hey, we operate on a trust basis. And I was like,
No,
don't
trust
give a
me, bro.
shit. Don't care. It's a contract.
No, trust me, bro.
Basis.
Don't trust me,
The
bro.
second red flag was in this beautiful first interview where they presented everything of what VShojo can and will do for me. I asked straight up, put them in a contract. Everything you offer, put it in a contract. Needlessly to say, that part never happened. There is absolutely no reason to not have them in a contract. But when I ask you to put it on paper in the contract that you want me to sign, you refuse. I also wanted to argue that VShojo cannot take down whatever they want. If I make a tweet and VShojo doesn't like it, they have the right to ask me to take it down. But I wanted them to have a clause in the contract that basically makes it, you can ask me to take it down, but you can't force me. So if I don't want
that's
it,
good.
if I don't want to take it down,
She
you
protected
simply
herself
have
really
to
well.
get rid of my contract. And now to the people who still go like, why didn't you enforce it? Shut the fuck up, bro. For someone who has nothing, this contract isn't even that exploitatory. It still has some icky stuff in there, but like,
Yeah, it has
if
icky
you've got
stuff.
nothing, you can use this as an opportunity to grow yourself into something over the next 2 years. It's not bad for
Like for something for me, if I were to get in there, it wouldn't be too bad. But for her that had everything, holy crap.
everyone, but it is absolute daylight robbery for people who are independent. Yes. Keep in mind, that contract had none of the things they promised. They said they operate on trust. But please do not forget that this has nothing to do with the girls. I hope no one takes it out of context.
Oh, yeah,
VShojo is
absolutely
not
nothing
the
to do with the
girls. I swear to God, if I see some fucking mentally ill, non-medication taking idiot on Twitter, slander whatever I said and use it to like drag the girls, the talent is completely separated from the company. Oh, and Kuro. Sorry, the girls and Kuro. Do you think in an agency, it sounds like you have everything handled? No, I don't. I've never wanted to be part of an agency. Okay, so the reason, still to this day, places like Hololive are something I would love to be part of, is because I want a community that is the talents. I would love a tight-knit group of friends who are all going to do through the same stuff, who are all part of the same thing.
So yeah, that's what we're going to be talking about. That's where I'm going to leave it with her. She is, of course, mentioning everything that I had mentioned in a previous part of a previous video. And yes, that is very exploitative. They wanted all her gamer stuff. They wanted any money she got from everything to go to their pockets, and then they give her what's left because, quote unquote, everything that she has is of VShojo's. No, she's coming in with stuff, so that stuff is not from VShojo. That is her stuff that she's bringing to you. So don't be a-holes and don't go and try to take her stuff this way. This is worse than I even thought. It is just crazy. Sayu, or Sayu Synchronicity, is, of course, a VTuber who was a part of, several agencies, a big agency back in the past, a rainbow agency, and then, of course, another VTuber agency of Noah Talents, who ended up ending their English version, their English side, and they're still with Metishon, which is the Chinese side, is still with that for Bilibili, but other than that, they're not a part of it anymore. They had brought up something new that I will let you guys see. I know I make good crap for saying this, but there's no time like right now to be honest about it. I know people would often name drop VShojo when I said I wanted a home, especially after I had the hardest experience of my 2.5 years ago, which was when she was in Niji Sanji. A friend, Zion Lanza, was in Niji Sanji, and she was dragged through the mud. Never shared the real reason why I was more aggressive towards them, shutting down that idea. 2 years ago, on the 7th of February, 2023, a kind friend helped me through the insane turmoil and panic I was feeling of being locked out of the accounts I had at the time. They knew Gunrun personally and offered to connect us because he also thought he could help me. As desperate and determined as I was to find out the solution that would help me, not just me, but others who were still in Niji too, I jumped to this chance. The three of us talked in person and told Gunrun about everything that one girl had experienced and seen in Niji Sanji. Everything from the unfairness of staff, the small percentage of merch, how trapped and hopeless I felt to fight back, or just existing there since she tried so hard. Then I pitched my idea. What if that girl and several others left, and they made a gen of ex-Nijis in VShojo, which is pretty much what VShojo was doing, slowly getting ex-Nijis. So Gunrun still ran with that idea, kind of, but not an actual generation. To my surprise, he said he liked the idea and asked me who else did she think would be interested in leaving with her to do this. She honestly didn't know too many people there that well in her short time, but she named a few who had been friends to her and knew in private. She really wanted to help those there, and we'd spent the night brainstorming and talking about this. After showing some considerable interest and surprise, Gunrun then introduced me to one of the managers at the time so I could tell them the same story. Gunrun told me he wanted to help and that it sounded like a plan and simply had to wait for Niji and to part ways. I remember having so many feelings of relief and confidence. I felt like I found my hope. Of course, the one girl was terminated, doxxed, and no help was offered. Even months later, I would reach out to him again, like we had never spoken. He gave me a surface level response. Wanted to apologize to anyone who asked in the past about this for being angrier than I would have been if that hadn't been the case. This also where my comment of saying what I did about VShojo as a whole came from in the past. Basically, she was angry about this already. That she's letting us know why she was this way. It was the other people's fault. Unfortunately, I really just felt trapped and abandoned all those years ago. Even now, I remember how it felt. I hope this explains why for so long I felt like I wasn't worth saving. I felt like I had no value. Felt like why just left me out. Why was me left out? I know I dodged a bullet, but part of me still wished I could have suffered together with the others that I wanted to be with as allies instead of being a reject. To protect the privacy of those involved, not share names, and she did actually redact a lot of things. So, here's what we're going to do. We're going to take a look at what she says here. They logged me out of everything, and of course that is Gunrun. That's the person that's connecting her to Gunrun. Are you free today? It's 10 p.m. to talk. What, how? If you're down, I think we should chat in person. I'll fly up and down if with that. Fly up if you're down with that. Be interested in that very much. I'm free, but are you sure? I know you and him are both super busy. I guess that was someone talking to Gunrun at that point. I vote for you to join. And it says I'm willing to share everything if he's okay having that burden. Greatly appreciate even if just a thought. Staff even blocked me off every other channel on Slack. This was basically Sayu talking here. Sayu, of course, mentioning everything. I'll pick you up, place 10:30, 11 p.m. if you're free. Sure, we're driving up to blank. And, of course, that is continuing with this last one here. We're driving up to blank. We need to meet somewhere close. If that's private, we can figure out places afterwards if needed. Yeah, of course. We'll be at our place at 11. Okay, thank you. I'm going to be a bit late. Sorry, but, basically all that kind of stuff, trying to figure stuff out. And she got screwed. It sucks that they got her hopes up. It sucks that they did all this to her. It really does suck. because she didn't deserve this. None of the talents that have had this situation happen deserved any of this. And I'm glad she is doing better. And it sucks that this and other things that have happened have made her feel very insecure and feeling like a reject all the time. She doesn't deserve this. In a little bit of a short addition to what Sayu said before, we did cover that just recently. Thank you all so much for your support and kindness today. I know things are really hard right now for many people. So much more was affected than anyone could imagine. Please remember to take some time off social media to enjoy your life. Sounds odd, but you have one life left. Being there for someone doesn't necessarily mean that you have to suffer through everything crushing moment, and those you care about, we don't want to take you through that either. Lesson that I had to learn, though it is hard, balance is always my way. We'll be back to the stream on Friday, excited and positive. Do your best to tell me what you've been working on. So yeah, a lot of people give her support as well, giving her, head pats and things like that, because she deserves it. Chris, the Holo Pro Simp, is of course a regular hololive tweeter, occasional hot take maker, etc. And they have brought a lot of interesting information in a lot of different places. I've used them before, and I thank them for allowing me to use their stuff on Twitter. This is some new information that just came out, today. Not exactly when I'm doing this, but just today. And I do want to let you know, by today I mean the 23rd, in case you're watching it later. They, apparently, multiple ex-Niji and livers have come forward, including, of course we have Kyrio Cypher, who used to be Hex Haywire. A lot of other people are coming forward to confirm that VShojo and Gunrun did try to poach them to the agency. Honestly, I had a suspicion that Gunrun did plan to make VShojo retirement home agency between 2022 and 2024, as we have heard from, of course, Sayu on this whole situation as well. And we have here, honestly, let's see down here, he did not plan to VShojo to go towards their goals. Poaching really was his approach to gain new talents, and the timing of mass Niji EN graduations was a gold mine for him. There's a reason why Kuro was the only guy in VShojo, even though the agency's name is literally V Girls. There's also a reason why initial JP branch fell through and felt half-assed. He didn't plan to have a JP branch at all, but seeing Coco and then Rushia leaving, he took the chance and decided to not to do anything with them for 2 years because Holo JP talents left to poach. If he continued this approach and waited for Holo's turn, he would definitely try to contact Aqua and Ame and maybe even Fauna Megura trio, maybe that too. Mume, Fauna, and Gura as well. Something changed mid-2024, and that was coincidentally when the financial issues started to affect the agency. So, based on what we're seeing here, of course, we do have some people coming forward, like Kyrio Cypher and others, who used to be Hex Haywire, saying that yes, there was poaching going on. You had Sayu saying that he was interested in poaching people. He was interested in getting Nidisanji VTubers in there, because he asked Sayu about what VTubers would be interested in joining the agency. This is a scummy thing. I know more information is going to come out, and as it comes out, more videos, more lives. I do apologize for that, but this information needs to be out there to make sure that he never does this again to anybody. Hex Haywire was a member of Nidisanji EN's ex-Soleil branch, with Doppio, Zion, Meloko, Ver, and Kotoka Torahime. A lot of them are graduated. Zion was terminated. Kotoka was graduated, and he is gone as well. He graduated as well. He switched over to Kyrio Cypher, which was his previous persona, if I'm not mistaken, and everything's a lot similar. He's changed the way he was. He was a little. He had some issues in the past of over-personalization of his community. He's changed that a lot, and he's recently come out with going live to talk about my own experience with the VShojo, corporations, and my view on VTubing as a whole. Lots of things I've been keeping close to my chest. Hope to see you there. That was a while back. Let me see if they have any, of course, updates on the whole thing. It was 3 hours ago. So let's see. Calling it. He was meant to join, but didn't because he was ignored or because of contract disputes. We know through Chris the Holo Pro Simp, they were actually, in many cases, being poached. They were attempted to be poached by Gunrun. A lot of the Nidisanji people were meant to be poached by Gunrun in order to join them, including, I believe, Sayu and others. Now, bro was talking about nothing, and he's going to pedal deep in this. He only sent an application and mauled it. He didn't get in. Let me take this opportunity to insert myself into the situation because they rejected me for legitimate reasons. Actual nothing burger. So unlike others, he's actually just jumping in the bandwagon. So I watched the part where he talked about it. He applied, but it was rejected because both a lot of rumors and rats being spread about him, like him targeting women in non-existent Discord server, and behind the scenes issues he can't disclose. So he got in. He attempted to get in. He didn't get in because of all the stuff that was happening. Still, Gunrun, as we know, maybe had him in the back pocket to see if he was going to get poached eventually. As almost every Niji ex-member, ex-Niji was approached and considered by poaching. That's what we're hearing from it, from Sayu specifically, and from Chris the Hollow Persimp as well, that they were most likely being poached, most likely going to be poached at some point. It would shock me if Mogu and Sunny had similar experiences. Sayu were ignored by Gunrun in favor of waiting for more popular members to leave. They were willing to go after someone like Sayu, who wasn't exactly popular in a Niji persona. They have definitely approached pretty much anyone else in Niji. Hits just keep on coming. Gunrun ran about trying to trick vulnerable ex-Niji livers. Yes, you're gone. We'll offer you the world. We'll offer you the best thing you possibly can get. And we'll offer you a lot of money, blah, 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 blah. It's all allegedly, of course. All alleged, because we don't know. We haven't seen the contracts. We don't have the contracts in front of us. We don't have the actual conversation between them, and other than the one that Sayu had there. But from all the circumstantial evidence and all the evidence just based on how things are going, I'm more inclined to believe that there were large groups of people that they were going to be trying to get from ex-Niji. And this does suck. And of course, a lot of people were just angry that it seemed like he was trying to insert himself into the whole thing. But I don't doubt that there were other people that were going to be, gotten as well. So is an English/Japanese VTuber living in, wherever she's living. She's going around Japan. I think she lives in Japan for overall. But one thing that I did want to mention here is something that she put out on her Twitter recently. She's been trying to find out the right words. One of the girls who passed the VShojo's auditions, after 4 years of blood, sweat, and tears, she thought she made it. Late night, sacrificed everything. But after learning what happened to Mousy's charity funds, I couldn't in good conscience move forward with my contract. So she passed the auditions, the recent auditions, for the EN sphere. So the auditions did happen. People did pass them. But she decided, you know what, screw this. I'm not going to be a part of this agency. I'm not going to give this agency any money, anything going on moving forward. So that is the big thing that I did want to mention here. We promised support, stability, all that kind of stuff. Turned down other opportunities because I believe this is one I didn't regret having hope. What hurts the most is losing the chance to debut alongside the most incredible, talented, kind, and hardworking girls. The girls who were already in there, and of course the guy, of course, being Kuro. I know some of you sense something has been off these past few months. I've been doing my best to smile through the storm, but truth is, it's been raining on me for a long time. You all been giving me so much love and support. I'm sorry I haven't been able to be the best. Working through my feelings, sweeping all this stuff up. Of course, please send your love to the VShojo talents and everything there. Of course, you have Raura, Mint Fantome, Tikajit, everybody, Miss Lala, Ruby Runeheart, Tori Oriane, who I'm going to be speaking about probably at another point. They all are giving her support. It does suck that a organization that you thought was going to be someone helping you out didn't, and instead screwed you over. Beribug is a VTuber, an indie VTuber, who has revealed here that she was going to be a part of VShojo. They were stringing her along for so long. She was a part of the VShojo auditions that did go through. They were going to be a part of it. And it was strung along again and again and again. After half a year of signing, they still didn't let her go through. They did let her continue her contract. They did let her end her contract, I think, eventually, which is what we're going to get to right now. This, of course, is her thing here. Let's hear it from her voice herself, of course. This is her on Twitch, and she is, of course, very sad about the situation. She started off crying, but let's hear this specific part, which is the part that I want you guys to hear.
Void my contract and basically ask for, to not be part of the company anymore. And as of today, I am no longer part of the company. And I'm really sad about the opportunities that I've passed up or that I will be missing. But at the same time, my experiences are only it's only a drop in the bucket, and
it really is.
It really hurts hearing
it does suck, man.
about every other person's experience and how people have been people have been going through so much worse. And I'm really sorry. I'm sorry. Oh god, maybe this was a bad idea.
So we will leave it there. But yeah, she is no longer contracted with VShojo. She's no longer able, doing the things that she's doing. She's no longer going to be hurt by them anymore. So that is a positive thing happening right now. That is a positive thing that we can actually point to, see, and be like, yes, at least there is some good stuff happening. The girls, pretty much all the ones who are going to be a part of VShojo have talked, and they're pretty much doing their best to get out of those contracts. I don't think VShojo is going to keep them in there because VShojo is in serious, serious legal trouble. Tori Oriane, or Oriane, is a Phoenix VTuber. I play games that make you want to bash your head against the wall. They recently have posted out something, my experience with VShojo. She did, man, sorry gang, stream is canceled for today. Instead, they made a video. The video that they made was this. So let's talk about it.
This statement is meant to be a defense to share my story and what I've been through the past year, and hopefully as an opportunity to back up some of the other victims' experiences. My story is a small fraction of the hurt I'm positive others have endured, and I encourage you to send your love to them during this time. I will also be donating all money this video makes to the Immune Deficiency Foundation. I hope you can listen to my experience. Thank you. In July of 2024, I submitted my application for VShojo for their public auditioning process.
So she was one of the ones.
Over a month went by until their tweet went live stating that all applicants were reached out to. My callback email was received earlier that same day. From there, I went through almost 6 months of back and forth audition rounds. Inside of the auditioning process, most days there was only one staff member present, who later became the only staff member I had contact with my entire time signed with VShojo. Eventually in December, I was booked for a final meeting where I would be congratulated for passing the audition process and invited to join VShojo officially. I was told to start thinking about what kind of VTuber character I wanted to create, and I was told the spending budget that I'd be assigned for the model and debut. From here, my contact with VShojo moved to one-on-one Discord DMs. I received the talent contract, and a few weeks later, after consulting a lawyer, I signed the contract. I'm currently 7 months into that contract. At this time, I was asked not to stream under an indie account on the side. Initially, I was told that our onboarding process would begin a week after.
So here's the thing. The short and skinny of this whole thing. Of course, it goes on for 10 minutes, and of course, watch it, listen to it if you have the time. The same way that PiapiUFO was treated, that others were treated, they were led on for several months, told not to stream, told not to do this, and of course, after a while, you're gonna be like, well, if I'm not streaming here, why am I gonna be? Why can't I stream on my own? So a lot of them ended up streaming on their own. They never were onboarded. 7 months. 7 months since they passed the auditions. 7 months since they paid since they signed the contract. 7 months and still nothing. You don't do that. Usually you're given, okay, this is about the time that your guys are going to be debuting. Nothing has been happening. Because, why? Because they ran out of money. That's the big thing. And that sucks for her. It absolutely sucks for her. We're going to go over to something that someone has responded with. Shekai here says, so VShojo was about to cancel the upcoming debuts for the people who auditioned and passed last year due to financial issues. You're getting more embarrassing and pathetic than ever. Why even host auditions if you can't pay for your current talents? Info from Tori, who has passed the auditions, got led on for several months to a year, delay after delay, paid out of her own pocket, yet got told to not stream first, was allowed to do it after another delay, just to end up telling her the debut may get canceled. Please go support her. So she was allowed to stream eventually, but, she was told, delay. As we now know, no one was paid in VShojo at all. It's really bad for everybody, honestly. Of course, give all these people support, and I do wish them the best. Another VTuber who was in a bad contract with VShojo a long time ago was Momo. Now she's with Mythic Talent. She says, I guess I'm glad now, considering back in 2019, I spent almost 2.5 years spiraling out about my self-worth in the entertainment world and in my friendships, all because I signed a 2-year contract with VShojo, spent a bunch of money and time to prepare, only for them to turn around and tell me they were re-evaluating their business and that I could reapply in the fall when they were doing tryouts. Hope VShojo Talent get what they're owed. Hearing all this, just heartbreaking. Shame on VShojo. So they, in 2019, were going to be part of, one of the people joining in VShojo, joining as a part of the EN side of VShojo, and they ended up getting screwed. They signed a 2-year contract, so that would have ended in 2021. They spent a lot of money to prepare, everything like that, and they were told in 2019, yeah, no, we're not going to work with you. We're reevaluating things. Things are not going to work the way it was, blah, blah, blah. That's not good. So you have Fifi, giving sadness. Man, this hurts me to read. I'm sorry this happened to you, Momo. Mark goes out to everyone affected by VShojo. The thing is like this. VShojo, it's like, it's all business to them. But for everyone else being affected, it hurts. You feel like you don't matter. You feel like it's like you're just like some random dude out there that they don't care about. And that is the issue. They're hurting people. It's not just, random individuals out there. They're hurting actual human beings. A VTuber, news tuber, kind of like me, does some news stuff, does just basically gaming and that kind of thing. I wanted to share some information. She got some information that provides some context. Let's take a look here. Information comes from a connection to former VShojo staff, sources which remain anonymous. And the information given to me is provide context to everything. VShojo started downsizing and cutting staff to alleviate financial pressures. So they've been feeling this for a while. Many staff members were let go with less than 2 weeks' notice, and in some cases, only a few days. Anonymous sources were left in the dark about financial woes and was shocked by the sudden termination. They were unaware of the extent of the damage. Talents were upset with the sudden decision, which led to talents separating themselves from the company. Former staff is united in working against the upper echelons of VShojo as legalities proceed for payments. So a lot of people were left unpaid. Really, really bad. And of course, other people here, Podge, can corroborate this info. That's all I can say. Jesus, Frank the Tank, other people curious, it's termination of staff or staff, quote unquote. Certain firing seemed to be weird. Of course, other people said, so that could be one of the reasons why Zen left. It's just basically a lot of questions are being put out there because of this. But I did want to let you guys know a little bit more information. This has been going on for a long time, at least 10 months, according to Kason. They've been in financial troubles for a long time. And they've been robbing Peter to pay Paul, as I said many times before. Welcome back, everybody, to the VTuber Showcase, the place where I like to showcase up-and-coming VTubers of various sizes, shapes, forms, types, everything in between. The reason why I do this is because I want it to be a good place for VTubing, a nice place for everyone to be here. So today, we're going to be talking about AzuRyuna. Hi, I'm Azu, a silly blue sea dragon that loves Krabbies and singing. We are going to take a look at their content, of course. A little sea dragon goober, and there you go, right there. Let's take a look at what they have done recently. Here we go.
Azu memes? Oh my god. Ain't no way, bro. Ain't no way. Head empty, boobs full. Full of what?
Dear Lordy.
Hopes and dreams, right?
Of course.
Hopes and dreams,
Of course, hopes and dreams.
right?
Of course, hopes and dreams. And of course, we're gonna have their YouTube, which focuses on that immediately. Where they have some of their stuff there, some of their other streams that they've done, VODs, videos, shorts, things like that. Thank you so much for allowing me to showcase you on my channel, AzuRyuna. I do hope this helps you in some way. Thank you guys for watching as always, and of course take a look, and if you enjoy everything, like, comment, subscribe, hit the bell notification icon, all those things that YouTube asks of you. Really do appreciate you. Have a wonderful day.